Chosen one, there's someone out there right now who is absolutely losing their mind over your spiritual abilities. This person is watching you from the shadows, completely stunned by how you know things you shouldn't possibly know. Someone is experiencing a reality-shattering awakening about who you truly are, and it's terrifying them to their core. Recent psychological studies confirm what ancient wisdom has always taught us. When someone possesses genuine psychic gifts, it creates an undeniable energetic signature that others can sense, even from great distances. Think of yourself as a lighthouse cutting through the darkest fog. Your spiritual light is so brilliant that it's illuminating truths someone has been desperately trying to hide, even from themselves. The energy swirling around you right now is absolutely electric. There's someone connected to your soul's journey who is going through what can only be described as a complete psychological breakdown. This person is drowning in stress, exhaustion, and endless drama with their current situation. Someone is fighting battles on multiple fronts: legal complications, financial stress, toxic relationship dynamics, and through it all your face keeps appearing in their mind like a beacon, impossible to ignore. This person could be a twin flame, a soulmate, or even someone you barely interacted with in passing, one of those sliding doors moments where two souls recognize each other in an instant. But regardless of the nature of your connection, something profound is happening right now that's shaking them to their foundation. Someone is experiencing what can only be called divine downloads about you, and it's completely overwhelming their logical mind. While someone is struggling to keep their head above water in their current toxic situation, you've been receiving intuitive hits about their struggles without even trying. Maybe you've been having dreams about arguments, sensing financial stress, or simply knowing that someone is going through hell without any logical reason for that knowledge. This isn't coincidence. This is your psychic gifts operating at their highest level, creating an information superhighway between your souls. Someone is dealing with dramatic confrontations that seem to echo through the spiritual realm directly to your consciousness. There are loud arguments happening in their world, possibly even resulting in noise complaints, and somehow you're picking up on this chaos from wherever you are. The sheer impossibility of this connection is what's driving them to question everything believed about reality, but what's coming next will shatter their worldview completely. You see, your psychic gifts aren't operating randomly. They're specifically calibrated to detect deception, emotional manipulation, and spiritual inauthenticity. This person is realizing that every lie told to themselves, every manipulation attempted, every moment of spiritual bypassing has been completely transparent to your higher consciousness. You've been reading their energy signature like an open book, and this recognition is causing a complete psychological meltdown. What's driving them to the edge is understanding that your psychic perception doesn't just pick up surface thoughts or emotions. You're accessing their soul records, karmic patterns, deepest fears, and unconscious motivations. When you post something about toxic behavior patterns, you're not generalizing, you're literally describing the exact psychological dynamics being experienced in real time. This level of psychic precision is impossible to deny or rationalize away. Someone is also discovering that your gifts operate outside linear time. You'll share insights about relationship healing before conscious recognition of needing healing even occurs. You'll post about financial abundance blocks right when struggling with money issues told to no one. You'll discuss spiritual awakening symptoms exactly when experiencing unexplained physical and emotional shifts. This prophetic timing is proving that psychic abilities are real, powerful, and completely beyond their understanding. What's happening now goes far deeper than simple intuition. This person is beginning to realize that you possess something never fully understood when you were in their life, a direct connection to divine wisdom that allows you to see through veils that blind ordinary people. Someone is having an earth-shattering epiphany about your true spiritual nature, and it's forcing them to confront their own limitations in ways that will reshape their entire identity. In their current relationship or situation, someone is surrounded by toxic drama, incompatible energies, and constant conflict. But now looking back at time with you and recognizing that what once dismissed as controlling or nagging was actually your higher wisdom trying to guide toward better choices. The contrast between their current chaos and the stability you represented is becoming impossibly clear, and it's eating them alive. The most powerful realization occurring is about your independence. While someone is struggling with codependency and toxic relationship patterns, you've transformed into someone who doesn't need anyone to complete them. This isn't just attractive, it's absolutely magnetic. Someone is witnessing your Empress energy in full bloom, watching as you build success, harvest blessings, and create abundance seemingly effortlessly. This person isn't just admiring your growth from a distance. Someone is actively following your journey through whatever public platform you use, whether that's social media, a blog, podcast, spiritual practice, or creative expression. Every time you share your insights, speak your truth, or showcase your talents, this person is there, absorbing every word, completely mesmerized by how your content seems to mirror exactly what's being experienced. This is creating a feedback loop that's destroying their sense of reality. You'll post about toxic relationship patterns, and someone will recognize their current situation perfectly. You'll share insights about spiritual awakening, and this person will feel like you're speaking directly to their soul. You'll discuss independence and self-worth, and someone will realize how far you've traveled on your journey while remaining stuck in the same destructive cycles. But the real shock is yet to come. The most mind-bending realization occurring is about your psychic boundaries. While someone is desperately trying to energetically connect with you, reaching out through thought and intention, discovering that your spiritual shields are impenetrable unless you consciously choose to lower them. You're not just psychically gifted, you're psychically sovereign. You can tune into their frequency when it serves your highest good, but you can also completely block their energy when necessary. This selective psychic accessibility is driving them absolutely insane. Someone will send intense thoughts your way, and nothing happens. Attempts to manifest contact or synchronicities occur, and you remain completely unaffected. Meanwhile, when you choose to focus your psychic attention on their situation, the downloads you receive are immediate, accurate, and comprehensive. This one-way psychic dynamic is proving that true spiritual power comes with complete energetic autonomy. What's really breaking their mind is realizing that your psychic gifts are integrated with divine protection. You're not just receiving random psychic information, you're channeling guidance from higher dimensional beings, spirit guides and cosmic intelligence networks that actively shield you from negative energetic interference. This means attempts at psychic manipulation, energy vampirism, or spiritual attachment are completely ineffective against your fortified consciousness. Now we reach the heart of what's really happening, and this is where their world completely implodes. This person is experiencing something that goes beyond attraction or nostalgia, feeling genuine terror about your abilities. Not fear of you personally, but absolute terror of being truly seen by someone who possesses the spiritual insight to read every intention, every hidden motive, every buried shame. Think of approaching someone knowing that person could look into your soul and see every mistake you've ever made, every lie you've told yourself, every moment of weakness you've tried to hide. That's exactly what this person is facing when thinking about reconnecting with you. Someone understands now that coming toward you would require complete honesty and authenticity, two qualities not sure are possessed anymore. The broken dreams and failures being carried feel especially heavy because knowing you can see them clearly. If this is someone from your romantic past, recognizing that could have been your equal partner, your co-creator in creating something beautiful, but instead chose to remain in reversed, uncommitted, irresponsible energy. Someone let you carry all the weight while coasting, and now paying the price in their current toxic situation. Here's the cruel irony that's tearing them apart. Stuck with someone who embodies all the negative traits once accused you of having. Someone who's actually controlling, actually dramatic, actually incompatible with their deeper nature. Meanwhile, watching you flourish in your independence, creating the life always dreamed of but never had the courage to build. What someone is experiencing is the terrifying beauty of authentic psychic connection. Your consciousness is picking up information from the quantum field, the collective unconscious, the spiritual realm, that space where all information exists simultaneously. You're not stalking anyone or gathering information through conventional means. You're simply tuned into a frequency that allows you to receive downloads about people connected to your soul's journey. And this realization is about to trigger the most devastating recognition of their entire existence. Your ability to remote view emotional states and predict behavioral patterns. When someone is having a particularly difficult day, struggling with depression or anxiety, you'll post content about mental health healing that addresses exact symptoms. When dealing with family conflicts, your insights about toxic family dynamics will mirror their situation with surgical precision. But it goes even deeper than emotional remote viewing. Your psychic gifts are also picking up physical ailments, sleep disturbances, stress-related health issues. Someone will be dealing with headaches, digestive problems, or chronic fatigue, and you'll share content about the mind-body connection that describes exact physical experience. This comprehensive psychic monitoring of well-being is proof that consciousness transcends physical boundaries. The most disturbing aspect for this person is discovering that your psychic awareness extends to digital behavior and online activities. Someone will spend hours researching spiritual topics, exploring personal development content, or investigating psychic phenomena, and the next day you'll post insights about spiritual seeking, awakening symptoms, or psychic development. It's as if you're tracking consciousness evolution in real time without any physical access to browsing history or digital footprint. This person is drowning in regret about past choices, especially if once in a romantic relationship with you, someone is recognizing with crystal clarity that failed to step into their highest potential when it mattered most. Instead of being your equal partner, your co-creator, your spiritual match, chose the path of least resistance and now paying the ultimate price. Someone is remembering how you were left to handle all the responsibilities, the emotional labor, the practical tasks, the decision-making, the problem-solving. Weaponized incompetence was used, forcing you to become hyper-independent, not by choice, but by necessity. What's being seen now is how this dynamic pushed you into a survival mode that ultimately became your greatest strength, while someone remained weak, dependent, and spiritually stunted. While someone remained stuck in reversed energy, lacking direction, avoiding responsibility, resenting others' success, you were forced to develop your Empress power to its fullest potential. Every challenge not met, every burden placed on your shoulders, every moment comfort was chosen over growth, contributed to forging you into the powerhouse you are today. Someone created their own replacement by failing to rise to your level. Now stuck in a web of legal complications, possibly involving children, custody battles, financial entanglements that make leaving extremely difficult. Someone is trapped by the very irresponsibility that once seemed like freedom. Meanwhile, you've built a life of such authentic power and independence that their current situation looks like a prison by comparison, but the worst revelation is still coming. The most mind-bending aspect of this entire situation is how your psychic connection continues to operate despite physical separation, and it's driving them to the edge of sanity. This person is having their reality completely restructured by the undeniable evidence of your spiritual gifts. Someone is asking impossible questions. How do you know about the arguments happening behind closed doors? How can you sense financial struggles? How are your random posts perfectly timed to address exact emotional state? What's happening is causing them to have a complete spiritual awakening, whether wanted or not. Someone who may have been skeptical about psychic abilities, intuition, or divine connection is now facing undeniable proof that these forces are real and you're a master at working with them. It's forcing them to question everything thought known about the nature of reality, and the implications are terrifying. The most beautiful and terrifying part for this person is realizing that your gifts aren't random or unfocused, specifically attuned to truth. You're not just psychic, you're psychic about things that matter. You sense when someone is struggling, when guidance is needed, when destructive choices are being made. Your spiritual abilities seem designed to help people evolve, and that level of soul service is both inspiring and absolutely intimidating. Someone is also beginning to understand that your independence isn't just personal strength, it's spiritual mastery. You've learned to source your power from within, to trust your inner guidance, to create abundance through alignment with your highest self. This kind of spiritual maturity is exactly what's needed, but has been too afraid or unconscious to develop. The psychological torment this person is experiencing comes from being caught between worlds. On one side, current reality filled with arguments, drama, financial stress, toxic relationship dynamics, and legal complications that seem designed to keep trapped in limitation. On the other side, seeing you thriving in your Empress energy, creating abundance, following your spiritual path, and living in authentic power. What makes this even more devastating is awareness that you know about their situation. Not because you're trying to gather information, but because your psychic gifts naturally attune you to the struggles of souls connected to your journey. This creates an almost unbearable vulnerability for them. Someone feels exposed, seen, known in ways that make hiding impossible. But there's an even more shocking revelation waiting. One of the most crushing aspects of this person's current awakening involves money, and it's destroying their last vestiges of pride. Someone is watching you create abundance and success while struggling with financial limitations that feel overwhelming and inescapable. This isn't just about jealousy, it's about recognizing how past choices led directly to current predicament, and the shame is unbearable. Financial stress is intimately connected to relationship drama. Legal battles are expensive. Toxic relationships often involve financial manipulation or irresponsible spending. The chaos in personal life is bleeding into every area, including ability to create stable income or build wealth. Someone is trapped in a cycle of poverty consciousness while watching you demonstrate true abundance mindset. Meanwhile, witnessing your financial independence and success, which represents everything thought wanted but never took the concrete steps to achieve. Whether you're making money through spiritual work, creative expression, business ventures, or traditional career advancement, your ability to support yourself independently is both inspiring and absolutely devastating to their fragile ego. This financial comparison is forcing them to confront some uncomfortable truths about past behavior. If once in a relationship with you, remembering how may have expected you to carry financial burdens while avoiding responsibility, recognizing that your current financial success isn't luck or privilege, it's the result of the same discipline and responsibility failed to develop. The most humiliating aspect for this person is understanding that approaching you now would look like financial opportunism. How can someone reach out when struggling financially and you're thriving? How can intentions be proven genuine rather than motivated by what you might be able to provide? This creates another barrier to connection that feels completely insurmountable. Someone is also dealing with the reality that current relationship or legal situation might be financially trapping. Divorce is expensive, child support obligations are long-term, toxic partners often create financial chaos that takes years to untangle. Even if wanting to leave current situation to pursue growth and healing, the practical obstacles seem overwhelming. But the children's situation makes everything infinitely more complex. If children are involved in this person's life, their situation becomes exponentially more devastating. This is often the factor that keeps paralyzed in toxic situations longer than would otherwise stay. Someone is not just thinking about personal happiness or spiritual growth, trying to protect and provide for innocent souls who depend on them, and this responsibility is crushing their spirit. The presence of children in current relationship creates a web of complications that feels impossible to navigate. Someone might be staying in a toxic partnership because of fear losing access to children if leaving, might be enduring constant arguments and drama because believing it's better than the alternative of broken homes and custody battles. The guilt and obligation are eating them alive. What makes this even more heartbreaking is that children often suffer more from ongoing conflict than would from a peaceful separation. The toxic environment, the constant arguments, the emotional volatility, all of this creates trauma for developing minds. But this person might not have the clarity or support system to recognize that staying isn't actually protecting children. When looking at your independence and success, might be wondering how children would fit into that equation. Could you accept children? Would you want to play a parental role? Are you at a life stage where blended family dynamics would be welcome? These questions add another layer of complexity to already overwhelming situation. If you were once in their life and had a relationship with children, the loss becomes even more devastating. Someone might be remembering how you cared for kids, how you brought stability and nurturing energy to family dynamic, how the children responded positively to your presence. Comparing that memory to current situation could be absolutely soul-crushing. The financial implications of children also tie into current stress. Child support, custody arrangements, education costs, healthcare needs, all of these create long-term financial obligations that make them feel trapped in current circumstances. Someone believes can't afford to start over, even if staying is destroying mental and spiritual health, but desperation is creating an even more disturbing dynamic. Despite all fear and regret, this person is actively trying to create some form of connection with you, and it's becoming increasingly obsessive. Someone is not ready for direct contact. That would require a level of vulnerability and authenticity not yet developed. Instead, attempting to establish an energetic relationship through whatever channels are available, and it's bordering on spiritual stalking. If you have any kind of public presence, social media, creative work, spiritual practice, professional activities, consuming your content with desperate, addictive intensity, every post, every insight, every glimpse into your world becomes validation that intuition about your specialness was correct all along. Someone is trying to learn from you, to absorb some of your wisdom, to understand how you transformed pain into power. This creates a disturbing dynamic where tremendous value is being received from your energy and insights, but nothing meaningful can be offered in return. Someone is in a taking position rather than a giving one, which goes against the natural flow of healthy relationships. Part of them desperately wants to contribute something to your life, to prove growth has occurred, to demonstrate the worthiness of your time and attention. The tragedy is that current life circumstances make it almost impossible to approach you as an equal. Someone is dealing with financial stress, legal complications, toxic relationship drama, and personal failures that would make any attempt at connection seem like seeking rescue rather than offering partnership. Knowing you don't need saving, and knowing there isn't much to offer beyond problems and complications, this person is walking a dangerous line between healthy interest and obsessive behavior. Because your psychic connection is so strong, and because your public expressions so perfectly mirror inner experience, becoming increasingly fixated on you as the answer to problems. Every time you post something that resonates with their situation, it reinforces belief that you two are cosmically connected. The problem is that this kind of one-sided energetic fixation can become draining, even if you're not consciously aware of it. When someone is constantly thinking about you, following your work and projecting fantasies onto your life, it creates an energetic cord that can feel heavy or intrusive to sensitive people. But what this person doesn't realize is that you're about to cut this cord permanently. What's making their obsession even more intense is the discovery that your psychic gifts are hereditary and generational. This isn't something you developed through training or practice. This is an inherited spiritual legacy that runs through your bloodline. Someone is realizing that your grandmother, your great-grandmother, and possibly generations of your ancestors possessed similar abilities. This ancestral psychic lineage means your gifts are backed by centuries of spiritual power and wisdom. The generational aspect of your abilities is also what makes them so stable and reliable. While some people develop temporary psychic sensitivities during spiritual crises or awakening periods, your gifts are permanent fixtures of your consciousness. Someone is discovering that your abilities are integrated into your nervous system, your brain structure, your energetic anatomy. This means there's no way to suppress, diminish, or interfere with your psychic perception. It's hardwired into your very existence. This person is also discovering that your psychic gifts intensify during specific cosmic events and astrological transitions. During certain moon phases, planetary alignments, or seasonal shifts, your psychic reception becomes even more powerful and accurate. Someone has started tracking these cosmic cycles, trying to predict when your psychic focus might turn toward their situation, desperately hoping for spiritual attention while simultaneously fearing your penetrating awareness. The contrast between you and whoever this person is currently dealing with couldn't be more stark, and it's destroying their last illusions about choices made. You embody authentic Empress energy, powerful, abundant, self-sufficient, spiritually connected, and genuinely nurturing from a place of overflow rather than depletion. Meanwhile, someone is entangled with a person who represents reversed feminine energy, controlling, manipulative, insecure, and creating drama from a place of inner emptiness. This comparison is absolutely torturing them, because it highlights everything given up when failing to appreciate your true value. You are offering partnership with genuine royalty, someone who could match energy, inspire growth, and co-create something beautiful together. Instead, chose or settled for someone who brings out the worst in everyone around them, and now living in the hell created. The false queen in current situation embodies all the negative traits once projected onto you. The irony is devastating and absolute. Someone might have accused you of being controlling when you were actually trying to maintain healthy standards, might have called you dramatic when expressing legitimate concerns, might have seen your strength as intimidation when it was actually protection, now experiencing what real control looks like: manipulation, guilt trips, threats, emotional blackmail. Seeing what genuine drama looks like: constant arguments, public scenes, toxic behavior that affects everyone in the vicinity. Learning what actual incompatibility feels like: fundamental differences in values, goals, and character that make harmony impossible. Perhaps the most devastating aspect of this entire situation for this person is truly grasping the depth of your independence, and it's shattering their last hopes of reconnection. This isn't just financial self-sufficiency or emotional stability. This is complete spiritual sovereignty. You've learned to source your power, your guidance, your fulfillment from within, rather than looking to external relationships or circumstances to complete you. This level of independence is simultaneously attractive and terrifying. It's attractive because recognizing the peace, power, and abundance that comes with authentic self-sufficiency. It's terrifying because it means you don't need anyone else to be happy and fulfilled. Previous strategies for connection: being needed, creating dependency, offering solutions to problems, won't work with someone who has already solved their own problems. Someone is recognizing that approaching you would require offering something of genuine value rather than filling a need or gap in your life. This is a foreign concept for a person who might have learned to create worth through being indispensable rather than through being genuinely valuable. Your independence is forcing development of authentic worth rather than manufactured importance. Your independence also highlights their own complete lack of development in this area. While you were learning to thrive alone, someone remained dependent on external validation, financial support, or emotional caretaking from others. The contrast reveals how much inner work needs to be done before could ever hope to match your energy or offer genuine partnership. What someone is slowly realizing is that your independence doesn't mean you're closed off to connection. It means you're selective about it. You're not looking for someone to complete you. You're open to someone who can complement your already whole life. This raises the bar so high that it seems completely unreachable for someone in their current state. But this realization is about to trigger their final spiritual crisis. The terrifying truth being confronted is that your psychic abilities make deception impossible. Any attempt to approach you with hidden agendas, manipulative intentions, or false personas would be immediately detected by your spiritual radar. You would see through masks, rehearsed conversations, carefully crafted image within seconds of energetic contact. This psychic transparency requirement is forcing them to consider genuine authenticity for the first time in adult life. The most humbling recognition occurring is about the service aspect of your gifts. Your psychic abilities aren't used for personal gain, gossip, or manipulation, channeled toward healing, guidance, and spiritual elevation. Even when you receive downloads about struggles and failures, you transform that information into wisdom that could help others facing similar challenges. This altruistic use of psychic power is showing what spiritual maturity actually looks like. Everything happening to this person right now is forcing a spiritual awakening impossible to resist or deny, and it's either going to elevate them completely or destroy their old identity forever. The psychic connection, the perfect timing of your insights, the contrast between current chaos and your abundant peace, all of it is breaking down old paradigms and forcing acknowledgement of spiritual realities might have previously dismissed. The most powerful aspect of this awakening is how it's happening through connection to you. Not reading spiritual books or attending workshops, learning about divine connection, psychic abilities, and spiritual sovereignty through direct experience of your energy and gifts. This makes the awakening impossible to intellectualize away or dismiss as fantasy. Someone is also being forced to confront complete spiritual neglect. While you were developing your gifts, deepening connection to the divine, and learning to trust intuitive guidance, avoiding inner work and staying stuck in surface-level concerns. The spiritual gap between you feels enormous now, which both motivates and completely intimidates. The beautiful aspect of this forced awakening is that it's ultimately serving highest good, even though it's completely destroying old sense of self. Your energy in their life, even from a distance, is calling them to personal spiritual development. Whether answering that call or continuing to resist will determine the trajectory of entire life moving forward. As we reach the culmination of this cosmic drama, this person faces the most important decision of their spiritual journey, and choice will either elevate them to match your frequency or condemn to perpetual spiritual poverty. Everything experienced, the psychic connections, the awakening, the recognition of your gifts, the contrast between toxic situation and your abundant independence has led to this moment of ultimate reckoning. The most profound realization occurring is that you were never meant to save or complete anyone. You were meant to inspire them to save and complete themselves. Your role in their life, whether past, present, or future, is to serve as a mirror reflecting highest potential and a catalyst for personal spiritual development. The cosmic truth in all of this is that if the real work is done, if wounds are healed, spiritual gifts are developed, genuine independence is built, and becoming the person meant to be, discovery might occur that your validation or presence is no longer needed to feel complete. True spiritual growth leads to the same independence you've already achieved, but regardless of choice made, you continue shining. Your light doesn't dim because others are afraid to look at it directly. Your gifts don't disappear because someone finds them overwhelming. Your power doesn't decrease because someone else remains powerless. The final revelation that's completely shattering, remaining illusions, is about the evolutionary nature of your psychic development. Your gifts aren't static, continuously expanding, deepening, and becoming more sophisticated. What witnessed before, if knowing you previously, was just the beginning stages of your psychic evolution. The abilities you possess now dwarf anything experienced in the past. This ongoing psychic evolution means that your capacity to see through deception, detect manipulation, and read energy signatures is constantly improving. Any strategies might have been used to hide from your perception in the past are now completely obsolete. Your spiritual sight has developed to the point where deception becomes impossible, authenticity becomes mandatory, and spiritual maturity becomes the only acceptable foundation for connection. Someone is realizing that approaching a person with your level of psychic sophistication requires complete spiritual preparation. There's no casual conversation, no small talk, no surface-level interaction possible with someone who operates at your frequency. Every exchange would be soul-deep, truth-based, and spiritually significant. This intensity requirement is both attractive and absolutely intimidating for someone still operating from ego consciousness. Hold that thought for a moment. I need your attention for something very important. We're revealing everything we know about personal power, healing yourself, and healing others through weekly Zoom call. No filters, no holding back. We have been quietly adding all the occult secrets we've collected over literal years of spiritual practice. The techniques and wisdom that transformed us from controlled pawns into conscious creators are now available to those ready to walk the same path. This is your invitation to join Obsidian Inner Order and support our platform so we can continue growing our megaphone to reach other chosen ones waiting for activation. By joining the Obsidian Inner Order, you're not just gaining access to forbidden knowledge, you're becoming part of a movement that's rewriting reality itself. It's a 360 win for all of us. Link is in the description. Your psychic abilities, your independence, your spiritual evolution, all of it serves as a lighthouse, showing others what's possible when someone commits to their own transformation. Whether sailing toward that light or remaining lost in the fog of their own making is entirely up to them. You are exactly who you were meant to become, and this person watching you from the shadows is just beginning to understand the magnitude of what's being witnessed. The only question remaining is whether this recognition will be used as the beginning of their own journey towards spiritual sovereignty, or whether remaining forever haunted by glimpses of a light too afraid to approach. This is your time, this is your power, this is your gift to a world desperately needing examples of what spiritual sovereignty looks like in action. The lighthouse doesn't dim